Ira Trivedi, let me come to you very quickly. The wellness guru on the broadcast. Is sleep hacking a myth? How about you help the viewers here? Can you really compensate for 5 hours of sleep with meditation, with cold showers or supplements? So one of those tricks or techniques that's doing the rounds on Instagram?
Not on a regular basis. You can use these hacks once in a while if you've had an occasional night of poor sleep. But if 5 hours of sleep becomes a regular incidence, then you're going to see the effects of this on your cardiovascular health, on your neurological health, on your immune system, on your basic bodily functions like your metabolism, your the way your gut is functioning, your eyesight. There's so many side effects that really hit everyone in a very particular way. So I would say the hacks, everyone that you mentioned, they do work, but they work on an occasional lack of sleep, not on a regular lack of sleep.
Many professionals trade their sleep for productivity. How would you convince them that that's not right? In your own experience, does sacrificing sleep ever truly enhance performance? Because everything that you've just mentioned suggests otherwise.
No. In fact, having a good night of sleep on a regular basis will enhance your performance. But that said, sometimes all of us have those nights, whether it's a social function, whether it's work related, that our sleep schedule goes off track. And on those days, we can definitely use things like yoga nidra. Yoga nidra is an amazing way to really recharge, and just a 20-minute practice can make up for like 1.5 to 3 hours of sleep, 1 or 2 REM cycles. But I think it's also really important to understand what your sleep cycles are like, because everyone is a little bit different.
Yep.
It's not the same for every single person. And everyone's circadian rhythms can be different. For some people, it's much more, really, they're much more in tune to waking up maybe at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. And that feels much better for their body. For some people, it's 5 or 6 a.m. And even the amount of sleep,
Fair
it's
enough.
typically about 7 hours on average for people, but there are people who need more sleep. For example, teenagers, it's scientifically proven that teenagers need more sleep. They're going through certain hormonal shifts, and sleep really helps them. When you're pregnant women, or if you're recovering from an illness, you need more sleep. But senior citizens, they all typically need less sleep. So it really does depend
All
on
right.
what stage of life that you're in, the amount of sleep that you get, and the more you're able to educate yourself and know yourself better, the better it is for you in the long run, because you'll be able to get sleep. There are
Different
a
sleep
few
for
simple
different
things
types
though.
of people, different sleep. So
Yes,
essentially,
absolutely.
understand your sleep cycle, understand how much sleep you
And
need.
it's called a
And
chronotype. This is not, this is science. It's called a chronotype. And there's
okay,
different chronotypes. And when there are different chronotypes, and you figure this out, then you're actually better, because genetically, humankind, they weren't all sleeping at one time. There were a certain set of humans. This is talking about from the Stone Age, when there was a certain set of human beings who were guarding while everyone else was sleeping against animals.
yeah.
And there was a certain amount of people would wake up early and do this. So, throughout the hundreds and thousands of years that mankind has been on this planet,
Ira,
there's been